Guys, welcome to episode 2 of my What It Means to Be a Writer series. Um, Honestly, I'm glad we both made it this far. I was trying to decide what to talk about this week. I was having writer's block pretty badly. I wanted to just like skip it because it's kind of been like a blah week. But then I told myself that I have to be consistent if I'm going to build a strong reader following or following on YouTube, whatever. And then it clicked. Basically, today's episode is going to be about consistency with writing, or in other words, getting into the habit. But before we get any further, I'm going to throw out my disclaimer. The contents of this episode are strictly my opinion based on personal research and experience. If you disagree with me, that is perfectly fine. Your prerogative. We can talk about it at length, or you can just skip this video and move on to something more enjoyable, like reading the rules of every board game you and your family own and then memorizing them so that you know for sure that you will never be wrong about anything board game related for the rest of your life. But for the rest of us, let's move on. So, again, today's episode basically is talking about making writing an everyday part of your life. It's easier said than done, for sure. Some days when you sit down to write, the ideas flow like a geyser and you just can't type fast enough. Other times when you sit down to write, it's like a dripping faucet and everything feels like it's just been turned off. So the best thing to do when that happens is to keep writing. Again, easier said than done. The number one thing that writers will tell other writers is writers write, even when they don't want to write, even when they can't think of what to write, even when their fingers are broken. No, don't do. If your fingers are broken, do what your doctor told you to do. But basically, keep writing otherwise. I guess you could do voice notes if your fingers were broken. But yeah, okay, anyway. But that's the difference between success and failure, basically. Writers will sit down and write when their lives are hectic and when they have writer's block and when they don't want to write. People who are not very good or consistent at writing will not do those things. So yeah, there are steps to take in order to get there though. And that's kind of what I wanted to point out. Writing is like any other muscle group. It's about building up your endurance and discipline more than anything. So the first thing you want to do is pick a spot, and that's your writing spot. Okay. So for people who work from home, you'll probably get this. When you sit down at your desk to work, you work. You don't get distracted by the TV or checking the latest YouTube videos. Hi. You sit down at your desk, your brain and body know that it's time to get some work done because every day you sit down here and you get your work done. At first, when you moved and transitioned to working at home, it was probably really hard. It was hard not to get distracted. Yet after some time passed and you got used to working for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week in the same spot, you just go into work mode when you sit down, right? Well, it's the same thing with writing. It's because you've built a habit for your body and your mind, and you go sit in the same spot at the same time every single day, and you're right. Now, starting out for writing, it can be like 15 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever you have time for. It's personal prerogative, but be consistent. Same spot, same time, every day. When you get to your writing spot, write. Maybe it's just going to be garbage. And that's okay. I mean, you've seen my writing prompts on YouTube. They're not all winners. You're not writing the great next American novel, and that's okay. You're just building the discipline and endurance needed to get into the habit of writing daily. You're strengthening that muscle group. It's going to be hard when you start out, but the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. Number two, maybe you don't know what to write about. And okay, this time it's not the time for thinking about what you want to start writing about. This is just writing time. All right. So don't get distracted with like the idea machine. It really does not matter what you write about. So this is where you want to like throw in writing prompts. One of the great things that helps with that is already having them like kind of set up. So if you sit down and you don't know what to write about, you just go and pick out a writing prompt because you've already got them geared and ready to go. Okay. Sometimes working on your current work in progress is kind of just out of the question. Either you don't know where you're going to take the story, or you're more editing right now and the writing part is done. All of that's fine. So just grab one of your writing prompts and just write some words for your allotted time frame or your word count, because sometimes instead of doing a certain period of time, they'll do a certain period of words. I think it was like Hemingway who wrote 1,000 words a day. But whatever works best for you, basically. So you take this prompt to get out some words, you practice, and you stay in writing shape. And then you go about your day. And this is your goal. Again, it's easier said than done. It takes commitment to yourself and to your readers, and it takes discipline to get the words on the paper. Yeah. Honestly, when I was starting out, I did a set amount of time because I only had that set amount of time. And if I only wrote like 5 words in that amount of time, it was fine because I sat down and I wrote for that amount of time. Now I do a word count mostly because I'm okay with my time fluctuating. I have a little bit more wiggle room. Sometimes I hit my number really super fast, and other times I sit there for a while staring at a page, which everybody's favorite thing to do. Yeah. Okay. I'm reading my notes real quick. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I mean, the consistency is key, which is the truth for anything that you do with your life, but definitely for writing. So consistency. Start by being consistent for yourself, and then carry that over to your readers, which I still need to practice because you guys know I'm a sprinter, not a marathoner, but consistency is key. So I hope this helped. I hope it was borderline encouraging. Actually, I hope it was like incredibly encouraging, and you guys have like your coffee cup and your timer and your little writing spot all picked out and you're ready to go. But if it wasn't, at least hopefully it was a little entertaining. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week, and take care and write.